Hey, welcome everybody to the channel. I'm in the middle of kind of revamping some Celica Supra wheels, and I wanted to bring y'all along, show you a little bit of what I'm doing. And if y'all ever want to do this, this will help you figure out what you need if you decide to do this yourself. Here's the before. I've actually started cleaning it. This is what we're using to clean it. Just wet it down and then spray it with this. Just what you're doing is basically trying to get any loose dirt or grit off of it. That way when you go to paint it and clean it, it'll actually stick. We're using a wire brush and this clay iron remover to get any of the gritty oxidation off this wheel. When you spray it, it'll actually turn purple, so you know it's actually doing its job. But we're just going to go in here. We're not trying to get it perfect. We're basically just trying to loosen everything up. That way when you go to paint it, paint will actually stick and won't have anything hindering it from sticking to the metal. I'm going to be putting these on the Corolla, 78 Corolla that I'm doing on the channel. I was searching for some wheels, and I was actually wanting to get these wheels for a while, and I found one of them online, and 3 of them I actually got from my brother. He sourced them for me. I want to say thanks to him. But the other one I actually found on eBay, and just got them here. I've already restored, or mildly restored, 3 of them. This is what they all look like before. One was actually worse. And then this is what they look like after. I do have all 4 center caps. I might do some mild cleaning and painting or whatever on the center caps. I don't know yet, but we'll see. So we got our brass wire brush here that we're using. We got our X-Acto knife, or hobby knife. That way you can get into these small little angles and all that, cut the tape so you can get a precise paint and not have paint getting on the face, because that'll not be good, especially if you want to keep it shiny. This is the paint we're using. I'd say 2 cans will actually be good enough for 2 wheels, or actually, sorry, 2 cans will be good enough for all 4, because I've already done this one, and the can still has a pretty good amount left in there. We're just gonna rinse this off, get all this up off, then we'll let it sit for a few minutes, dry off, and then when this wheel is dry, I'll come back with you guys, and then we'll start taping it off, and then I'll kind of cut here and there until we get it fully taped. Lay 2-3 coats of the paint down, let that dry, and then let y'all see the finished product. I do want to say this paint it's a paint primer mixed with gloss. So our wheel over here, we cleaned it and used 2-3 coats of the paint, and it actually is pretty shiny. Don't really need a clear, but I'm probably going to take some wet sand or some sandpaper, real fine sandpaper, and a little bit of soap and water, and just polish up the face and the lip of that. And then if that turns out really good, we'll do it to this one later as well, and then take that can of clear that I bought and just put like 1 or 2 coats of clear over it just to make it pop a little bit. But let y'all see that, and then we'll come back here in a second and clean her off. Alright everybody, I'm back. The wheel is nice and dry. So what we're going to do is go ahead and start taping her off. And I'll probably just show you a little bit of how I trim it and stuff. I'm not going to sit here and have you guys watch me tape this whole thing. It'll take a while. Plus, y'all don't want to see that. Y'all want to see the finished product. So I'll just show you a little bit of after I put some tape on. I'll show you how I'm trimming it off, and then we'll skip to getting ready and spraying it. Alright, see y'all in about a minute. Alright everybody, just came back to show you a little bit. Since it's just me by myself, wanted to let y'all see. Alright, so I cut a piece of tape, and then with this wheel, as you can see, there's a line that goes all the way around. Okay, now the tape, what I'm doing is I'm just laying the tape around here and slowly just pressing it where I keep it on that ridge line right there. And then as you can see over here, we're on that ridge line, and I had to cut some relief strips here and there just so we can bend the tape all the way around that wheel. And then with this green tape, it's actually, you're able to see down here and inside. The blue tape, painter's tape, you can do the same. I think the green's a little bit better. But then we'll use this knife and we'll go ahead and round that edge off and come all the way down and around this, and it'll be easier to cut this too. So I'll come back once I get this rim, the outer part of this rim wheel done right here. Then we'll come back in, tape these off and across. So I actually use one piece coming down, one going up, and then one in front here. Once I do that, then I'll come back and I'll show you all how we cut this off and get it ready for paint. Be right back. Alright you guys, here's the outer part of the wheel. I went ahead and did the brim of it, or the lip, and then I did these little notches to be able to get it to lay down. Now I will say this green tape that I'm using, I got this at AutoZone, and it's one of the higher flexibility tapes, which definitely helps for when you're going around like that, because I did about one piece there, one piece here, and one piece here, and it actually helps having the flexible tape, because if you start bending it or whatever, it'll rip. And this actually is stronger, so it'll bend with the curve. If you see, it goes right along, and you don't really have to worry about if it covers this on this wheel. Sorry if it's a little blurry. You don't have to worry about it covering that a little bit, because you're going to go back like I did on this side. Put tape here, and then you'll go back and cut that and get it more precise. But that's the outside. Next up you'll see is me getting ready to start trimming. Alright, I'm back. Here we go. This is what it looks like all taped up. Obviously it's not perfect pieces of tape, just enough to cover everything. Now right here you can see the edge of both sides. What I like to do is just take my nail or something, just kind of make an indentation of where this needs to be cut, or you can just use your finger, and then we'll go back over it here and start trimming it. Alright, sit on top of here for us, since it's just one man crew today. I'll sit down and we'll try to get this all trimmed up a little bit for you. I'll do one section on camera so you can see what I'm talking about, and then I'll come back when it's all done. But if we take our little razor, basically we're just going to line it up. It's good to have a good new razor too, because it'll be a lot easier. But do that. You can see how it's cut right here on the line. This side over here isn't fully cut right, so we'll come back and cut that some. And it's okay if you scratch the surface just a little bit with the razor, because we're going to go back in with some filler primer paint. Cover it up just well. As long as you don't go up and cut where your face is going to be on the wheel, because then you don't want little razor lines, cut lines on the face of your wheel. That won't look right. And that's just more work for you to have to kind of grind out later, or wet sand and clean it up. So we're gonna try to do this one-handed, because I don't have nothing to hold the camera yet. We'll get something later on, be able to do this a little bit better later for our next project or two. So going down, see what I'm doing is I'm taking the razor out of the way, and I'm basically using it on the edge. I'm riding the edge of this wheel piece, little slit down, and we're actually doing it on both sides. We're doing it on the right and left side of this. That way you get as much of a precise edge as you can. That way when you come in here with paint, you don't have a jagged edge or nothing. It's as precise as you can get it. See, peel that off. Here we go. Now that's what it'll look like. Sorry, try to get it steady. That right there is right on the edge. So I can see a little bit of the silver face right there, but once we paint it, blend it in, we can take some wet sand the face of that, and it'll take that right off. But we'll go back through here with the razor, kind of trim that edge up a little bit. Not bad. I wish I would have had this for my other wheels. Would have made it a lot easier. Alright, so we did that. Next step, we're going to trim this line all the way down, all the way around. So when I come back, we'll have this whole wheel already trimmed up and start laying the paint. Hey everybody. Alright, we're back. That was a good 4 or 5 minutes of tedious trimming. I will admit that's not fun, but we do have a couple areas where the face is going to be showing, so it's going to get a little paint on there. Tried to go as slow as possible to trim it. That's why it took me a while. But this is the area that takes the most time, is going in and trimming everything, all the fat off of the tape, getting all this nice, all nice lines and stuff. That way when you get done painting it, you peel it off, it'll actually look good, look like the other ones. Alright, so now that it's prepped and ready to go, we'll go ahead and get the paint and start shooting the spray. We're going to do one light coat at first, and then let that dry. Do a heavy coat after that and see what it looks like. I'll let y'all see this coat, how light we're going with it, and then we'll come back, and when that's dry, and we'll do another coat. You're definitely going to want to try to get into all these crevices in here. Don't have to be perfect on the first coat, obviously, because this is just the base, kind of like the prime coat, basically, just for the paint to stick to. on your next couple coats. So if there's a little silver coming through, that's totally fine. If you don't get it everywhere, it's no problem. Alright, looks like there was a piece I missed trimming, so I'll go back and trim that. But we'll come back, let this dry, and then do some more. Alright everybody, here we go. I went ahead and I actually had a piece of tape right around here that I didn't trim out. So I had to go back and trim that out. But it looks good. I obviously haven't taken the tape off yet, but we'll give it a few minutes, come back and show you the finished product. Alright everybody, it's still a little bit wet, but we'll go ahead and start taking the tape off and show you what it looks like when it's completely off. Alright, here we go. Try to actually find somewhere I can start peeling from. But yeah, the paint's still a little bit wet, so we're going to be real careful how we take this off of here. That looks good already. Alright, let's see. I'm just gonna peel one off for now, and then I'll go off camera and peel the rest, and then when I come back on, it'll all be done. Let's see. Now there is going to be a little bit of paint that gets on the face, obviously, because it's still a little bit wet. I want to let y'all see a little bit what it looks like. But we got a little bit of paint here and a dot there from my finger, but this came off from where the tape moved. So obviously when I let it dry fully, I'll wet it, get some soap and water, and kind of wet sand the face of this a little bit, real light, get any of that loose paint off of the top, and then we'll probably spray clear over it just to clean it up a little bit. But come back in a second and show you with it all off. Now here you guys go. This is actually the finished product right here. Paint was definitely still a little bit wet. Got all over my fingers trying to get the tape off. It's been in the high 90s the past week or so, and today it's nice and cool, so the paint's not drying as fast as it was, say 3 days ago. But that's the finished product right there, and then we gotta just wet sand the front a little bit to make it pop out a little, and then maybe do a clear over it. Just depends on what it looks like when the sun hits it. But alright, that's a little tutorial on how to clean and paint, renew some Celica Supra wheels. Alright, I'll catch you on the next one. Please like, tag, and subscribe to the channel if you're new, or if you're not. And I'm gonna try to start posting at least once a week from here on out. Probably upload every Sunday. But this week we're actually gonna get a second video, a surprise video coming this weekend. So stay tuned for that, and hope to see y'all next time. Thank you again.